Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners, fans, friends, and family of all ages, the haters, the congratulators, the imitators, don't get too high like a Cam Newton overthrow. Don't get too low like a Donovan McNabb dirtball pass. Stay even keeled. And that's exactly what War Room Sports does. Welcome to episode 226 of the War Room, where we give you our mid-season NFL awards and much, much more. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. You could be anywhere, doing anything, but you've chosen to tune in to us, and for that, we appreciate you. Don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we know that you are because you're tuning in. Episode 226 begins now. Kick back and enjoy.
Blog Talk Radio.
Let's go.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dez, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topic, sorta like some rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war ain't Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What up, sports fans? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on that WRS Podcast Network. I'm Devin McMillan, and I'm here at the round table, as usual, with the brothers, Jimmy the Blueprint Williams and B. Austin. The NBA season has some early storylines, and we're going to try to discuss all of them in the next 2 hours. We'll also give our NFL midseason awards, so join us right now to talk about all of this and more in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. Or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline in about 30 minutes. That number, as usual, is 323-410-0012. But before we get started, you know the drill. You guys, during the week, you need to check out the great shows on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. You can get there from our main site, warroomsports.com, or you can get there directly by putting in WRSPN.com on your browser. You'll find shows such as The War Room, The Broad Street Line with Roy Burton and Chris Domingo. Those guys do a great job every week. Like they always say, man, if you like what we're doing over here, you're going to love what those guys are doing on the Broad Street Line. We got Sports Trap Radio with Brandon Pemberton and Anthony Green after further review with the mayor. Shout out to the mayor. Trying to do some video work with us as well recently, and a whole lot more. You can also check the listings over at fatsradio.com. Why? Because fatsradio.com carries all of the sports shows from the WRSPN network. So, look, you can catch us over there. The War Room is live over there. Well, not live, I'm sorry. It's on syndication over there Sundays and Tuesdays at 3 p.m. And like I said, check the listings for all the other WRSPN sports shows because they're at Fats Radio as well. And that's PHATZradio.com. Fellas, what's going on? How's your week?
Pretty hot and tempting.
Pretty hot and tempting.
You already know, man. Ready to talk some sports with my brothers, man. You know, Thursday is like our reunion every week.
No doubt.
Yo, man, I had an opportunity to shake hands with a sports legend this week. My brother, Dev, and I, and no, we didn't shake hands. I said a sports legend, not a legendary troll. Not the legendary sports troll.
My fault. Wrong category.
Yeah, it's all good. So shout out to Peter King, man. He was so humble and unassuming, man. I was surprised because if I had the success that he had, listen, little kids, when you approach me, I might shat on you, bro. It ain't personal.
Yeah, shout out to Peter King and to legendary voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese. We got to chop it up with him for a few minutes as well. Mark Zumoff from the Sixers. The voices of the Phillies and Flyers as well. The only person that was missing, man, and that whole thing And it made me sad because they were talking about him and giving him his props for Harry Kalas, man. Rest in peace to Harry Kalas.
Out of here.
We would have had that opportunity, no doubt. I wish we'd have had the opportunity, to meet him during that little powwow, but it's all good.
R.I.P. Harry Kalas, man.
Driven to deep left field, and this ball is out of here.
All right, so let's talk about what happened this week, fellas. While everybody else was on that grind. And On the Grind is brought to you, as usual, by DirecTV. If you guys out there would like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, including that NFL Sunday ticket that you have for about another 8 weeks, go to our website, WarRoomSports.com. Click on the DirecTV logo and order yourself a better TV experience at a discounted War Room Sports sign-up rate. If you call yourself a sports fan, then you got to have DirecTV. All right, man. A-Rod, man, his suspension is over. As of the World Series, his year suspension was over. So supposedly, he's getting back into the mix to play for the Yankees next year. But of course, they can't go a few days without his name coming up in the news. Now, earlier this week, the story came out saying, because remember when that report came out, the supplier in that whole 2009 steroid case, that the Sports Illustrated story they wrote on it, the supplier was supposedly A-Rod's cousin, a guy by the name of Yuri Sukart. News this week said, in court documents filed last week in the U.S. District Court for Southern District of Florida, said that A-Rod paid this dude nearly $1 million in exchange for his silence, about A-Rod's illegal steroid use. So, when they came basically saying, I'm going to give you $1 million, and when they come questioning, just make sure my name doesn't come up. And they're saying Sukart's former attorney, Jeffrey Son, actually demanded $5 million of silence money. It's crazy that his lawyer asked for it. You're getting your lawyer into the basically illegal business.
Because his lawyer's going to get 20%.
No doubt. His lawyer going to get whatever he negotiate. He getting a piece of that, no doubt. But the lawyer asked for $5 million. But the filing says that A-Rod entered into a confidential settlement with Sukart on June 5th of 2013, and he paid the dude $700,000, and then followed it with 3 more payments that totaled like $200,000. So he got like $900,000 altogether to keep A-Rod's name out of it, and A-Rod still got suspended for a year. So what do y'all think about A-Rod and his hush money?
All right.
Know he got it.
Here's my question, right? Throughout this whole process, is he still being paid?
No, not when you're suspended.
Well, when you're on suspension, no, but he still has 3 years left on a gigantic contract. So, as of the World Series, he's going to still be getting paid. But throughout
that's what I'm saying. While he's suspended, no, but they still have to honor his contract. Is my point.
Yeah.
Right. So he missed out on that. He missed out on a diesel payday this year.
Oh, no, of course.
His payday is so diesel all the way through. It don't even matter. Go ahead.
What I'm thinking is this, and I could be completely wrong, but I think A-Rod is like, he don't want to play no more, but he's trying to find a way to get that bread or get a settlement or get a buyout without playing. Because at this point, his reputation is ruined to the point where he can't go to the Hall. So now it's just about, making as much money as possible and doing the least amount of work. He doesn't want to come back and go play and then hear the crowds call him everything under the sun while he struggles, because you just can't take that much time off and still be the same player. He was already on the downslide anyway. So I think he's trying to find a way out.
If I'm getting what he's getting per year, I don't care what the crowd say. I don't care how many times I strike out.
No, but people, what I'm saying, though, he still wants the bread, but he's trying to find a way to get the bread without having to do anything for it.
Without having to do anything to get it.
I agree. I mean, I think all three of us are on the same page with this one. My whole thing is take your morality caps on, or take your morality caps off, rather, which, I know we don't have any problem being objective, gentlemen. But for real, if you had been paid $500 million through the course of your athletic career, would you have a problem giving someone $1 million, which equates to about 20% of 1% of your total pay?
I got a better question for you.
I don't think there was a problem with A-Rod giving him the dough, but the fact is he gave him the dough and he still ended up suspended. His name still was in the report, and now they're even saying that A-Rod actually confessed to the DEA. I think back in I forgot exactly. I think they said January 29th. He confessed to the DEA that he did indeed use performance-enhancing drugs. So, he got it, but it's still $1 million that wasn't well spent.
I got a better question for you, B. Austin. If you can get contracts paying you $500 million, how fast would you take the same things that he took to get it?
Quite honestly,
I'll be completely honest.
Coach. Yeah, shoot me up right now.
I heard that.
Yeah, because the sports that I like, only of the three that I really love, and am passionate about, only two of them really frown on performance-enhancing drug use. I mean, the NFL, call it what you will, them dudes shoot up every day. So, if I was playing football, definitely.
You snitching?
Definitely.
All right.
So they shoot up every day.
Yo, speaking of football, this isn't even about the game, man. This is about the crowd. Did y'all hear about the dude in Pittsburgh? He's a fan. He was actually an IRS employee. He was being ejected from the game for being drunk and being rowdy or whatever. And then as they were trying to eject him from the game, he threw steel crowd dividers, one of which knocked a woman unconscious. This is during the Steelers game. So now it turns from an ejection to an arrest. So as he's getting arrested, he tries to bribe the cops, saying, this is what he said to the officers, listen, I know how this works. How much money will it take to make this go away and let me go home today? So they're saying this is a 29-year-old IRS employee, and they're saying that he's a furloughed employee, and these criminal charges could probably affect his employment status. Yo, like B. Austin just said, how many movies does this dude watch, man?
Hey, listen, man, I just want to know, did they ever answer his question?
Probably not, since he still got booked. Probably not.
Yo,
because they said
my thing is this though. My thing is this. He was obviously inebriated, man, and he's out there acting as if he has nothing to lose. Like, and I think a lot of times I see people who act a fool who have jobs. Like, if you have a job, that's not like people act as if like having a job is their right. Like, this is my job. Like, you got to protect that, man. And obviously he was a government employee.
Yeah. And also, I got a question for you, brothers, and excuse my ignorance on this, but I just want to make sure what I'm thinking is what it is, because I'm not 100% sure what a crowd divider is. Now, is that the little metal things that they put the velvet rope on that they hook it to? Is that a crowd divider?
I think so. That's the only thing I can think of.
Because if that's what he threw at somebody,
as hell.
I was about to say, if that's what he threw at somebody, then it said it knocked the woman unconscious. Yo, he's going to be facing some serious charges if
here's the one thing here's the one part of the story that they're never going to bring up, and the fact of the matter is all this was caused by alcohol, but they don't want to talk about that though.
Oh yeah, because they don't want to get that bang.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the thing that you use to put the velvet rope on, and I'm not saying that I've ever used one in combat, but I will say that they pack a pretty good wallop, man.
This boy said in combat.
Very, very good wallop.
Yo, you know why? Because if you're using one of them, I think it is considered combat. That's not a fight. That's combat.
Yeah, that's aggravated assault.
That's assault with a deadly weapon, man. You can pummel somebody with one of them.
Yo, this brother said combat. Guess you hang it.
Yeah, I think if you're using something that heavy on somebody, it is considered combat, not just a fight. But for this 29-year-old IRS worker who watches too many movies and tried to bribe the cops, like the IRS really paying you that much. You should be ashamed of yourself, the way you carry yourself. Yeah, I bet your boy ain't paid taxes in like 5 years. And he worked for the IRS.
Yo, man. They should have answered
speaking
the
of
question,
combat, speaking of combat and weapons, Brittany Griner, y'all favorite female basketball player.
I don't know who that is.
Allegedly.
During the off season, during the WNBA off season, she plays ball in China. So they were visiting this city somewhere in China to play some team. I think it was called Shenyang, China. Some dude wielding a knife just popped out of nowhere while they were walking from the practice arena and chased Brittany Griner and one of her teammates to their team bus. Now, when they're in the bus in the back cornered, he's on the bus swinging this knife at them and apparently yelling something about them messing with his wife. And after a 5-minute confrontation, this dude just got off the bus, and they said Brittany Griner had a little cut on her elbow. One of her teammates he cut her with the knife, but they said she had on 2 coats, so it really didn't go through. Yo, what's up with this? Violence.
First of all, I don't know who Brittany Griner is. I know Brett Griner.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 6'8", played at Baylor. And when you say some dude, was the gentleman's name spelled SUMDOOD? Or I'm just trying to. I don't.
Yo, man. All jokes aside, man. This is another young man who was on the sauce, obviously. And this story is just crazy, man. But I wonder whether he had a point, whether he was, sort of like the last gentleman, and he asked his question, they didn't answer his question. I wonder, if they would just answer my man's question. Was they messing with his wife?
Yeah. Well, they said he was yelling about us hitting his wife, and that could mean.
What he mean by hit?
Too.
When I say I hit someone, shout out to Ray J.
And somebody said the dude. I know. They said dude left the scene, returned covered in blood, and then was apprehended by the Chinese authorities. So I don't know what this dude was on. But I'm going to read y'all the statement that Brittany Griner put out on Instagram. And excuse my grammar because this is not my grammar and my English. This is Brittany Griner's grammar, spelling in English. So I'm going to read this just how it is. It said, "First, let me say I'm okay. But last night, me and my 3 teammates got chased and attacked by a man with a big-ass knife, got a little scratch, no period, just knife, got a little scratch, and my teammates walk away unharmed." I sound like a slave. "He chased us into our bus and had us cornered, yelling at us, then he finally left. Ugh, let's say I'm ready to get out this city we are visiting. Life can be took at any moment. Cherish every moment. Again, I'm okay. Thank you to everyone that has been checking on me." Enslave. But that was the
enslave.
Yo. That was the statement written by. Yo, seriously, if you're gonna put out a statement, man, proofread it, John. Seriously, because everybody use that excuse. Well, it was on social media, so you don't have to be the grammar police on social media. Yo,
but you know what? No,
first of all, you're a famous person. So this is going to be on all the news outlets. So proofread it.
Yo, I'm cut from a different cloth, and I'm an old man because, I, to this day, before I put something on social media or send an email, I run it through spell check, and I think I might be the only person who does it. If I know a lot of things wrong, but it's intentional.
Even if you want to talk slang, you could talk slang, but just, in the context of good English, you can do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it 100, man. I don't allow the younger generation to put that off on us. Because first of all, we not old quite yet. Yo, there's nothing cool about being stupid. And so whenever I get into these back and forths with any young gentleman that I'm trying to counsel or tutor or help them escape from slavery. I let them know, look, dog,
okay,
you can't impress upon me that it's cool anywhere to be stupid. So I don't want to hear you're old. Nah, y'all are just stupid. stop it. Learn how to talk and write.
Yo, meanwhile, sis got poked up, and we talking about her grammar.
Talking about her grammar.
I know. Somebody charged $150 here, and we talking about her grammar.
Brett Griner held it down. I'm pretty sure.
Somebody try to hit her with $150. We sitting here talking about her grammar, though, man. We talking about practice, though, man.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
My bad, Brittany. Glad you're okay, man. I mean, I'm glad you're okay, sis. Another crazy story. Did y'all hear about the former Ravens cheerleader who's being indicted on charges of raping a 15-year-old boy? Let me tell y'all the story because, it sounds weird. 15-year-old boys don't generally get raped, but those words have to come into context because of the age difference. Now, she's 47 years old. The woman's name is Molly Shattuck, or Shattuck. We'll call her Shattuck. She cheered for the Ravens back in 2005, which means she was old as hell cheerleading, first of all. I think she was like a 38-year-old cheerleader at one point. So she's being charged with 2 counts of third-degree rape, and this is how it went down back in May is when she first met the dude on Instagram, that damn social media. She first got physical with him in the back seat of her car in a middle school parking lot. Now, he's 15, so he's not in middle school. Of course, she's not in middle school. What they doing in a middle school parking lot? But they said they were just kissing and touching right there. On Labor Day weekend, she took the dude to a rented beach house she was staying at with her kids. At the beach house, she gave my man oral sex at least 2 times, and one of those times was while walking the dog outside, and then again when they returned to the bedroom. Then, according to police documents, she allegedly told the boy if he wanted to have sex, then she would, but they say the boy opted out. And he he decided to leave. He told the police that she had on pink underwear in the bedroom, so now they got a search warrant, and they're hoping to find this evidence that will corroborate this 15-year-old boy's story. What do y'all think about this madness? Because we hear this about teachers and now
Jimmy, I'm going to let you rock
I'm just
first.
wondering,
right.
where were
I'm
these
say
chicks
what I want to
when
say,
we
man.
were in school?
I know this is a serious matter, and I'm not even trying to be funny, yo, but the first question anytime I hear a story like this is, where were these teachers when I was in school, yo? Or were they there? And
I mean, she's not even a teacher, but like I said, we hear this. She's not a teacher, though, but I feel you because there's been like 2 stories this week about teachers.
Oh, yeah, well, teachers,
I think
this is even crazier. She's an ex-cheerleader. Like, where were these old Cougars at? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they that desperate these days that, where the Cougars at, man? Like, where was they at when we was young boys? With that being said, though, this does sound like a little predator. Like, he didn't seem like he even wanted it that much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this stuff, like, the family exposes it. This boy sound like he snitched because, you know what I mean? He was scared of them, the moisture.
She picked a lane.
Yeah, pretty much. Y'all ain't cool, man. Boy lane. He got
I take that back, man. She has no business dealing with this young man of 15 years old. Like, no, I mean, it's definitely wrong in the bigger scheme of things. His whole response to the whole thing, if it's true, it's surprising. I'm not going to front like it's not surprising. A lot of 15-year-old boys would look at that as an opportunity and not realize that they're doing anything wrong. And then the larger scheme of things, they're not really doing anything wrong. The woman is actually doing something wrong. But his response and reaction to it was pretty surprising to me, even though, I mean, he did take the Chewy twice. So let's not.
Yeah, he took that. He's like, I'm a coward, but I'm still take this. I'm gonna take this bobblehead.
He did take the
I'm gonna take this bobblehead, but that's about it.
I'm gonna take some bobblehead.
Oh man,
take some turkey gobble.
We're losing fans by a minute.
To all of our female fans and listeners, and those of you who may not be female and are male and just have reached a point of maturity and conscious development where you can look at this and say it is absolutely
all the
wrong
out there.
And out of pocket and control. I would like to point to 3 things. I cannot honestly say that at 15 years old, I would not have broke that lady's back in a pleasurable way. I just, maybe I was nasty. Maybe I was, I can't. I have to be honest. I'm committed to being honest to our listeners and our listenership, man, and that's just what it is. She is completely out of control. But I hearken back to our youth, Dev and Jimmy, and we both went to historically black colleges and universities.
Talk to them.
And one of the things that I learned is during homecoming and Spring Fest, when they had the fashion shows and they could only take a few models and the campus was full of beautiful women, I realized that how we may perceive a beautiful woman is not necessarily how she perceives herself. And her ego and esteem, when bruised, man, they're malleable, and they go and seek a way to confirm themselves. That's the only thing that I can think of in combination with her being a slostitute morally, is just that she was looking for someone to confirm her ego somehow or some way.
Yeah. I mean,
the mature
that's
part of me, I have a son, and I would probably send my wife. I wouldn't even have to send my wife, because she would do it on her own, to destroy and rip this woman's limbs off. But, that's as a mature person.
Even if he's 15?
I mean, I would give him a handshake and a pound and ask him, but man, I'm torn, because there's us where we are today, but it wasn't too long ago that we were 15 and teenagers, and there ain't no way that I wouldn't have been proud of y'all as my homies for knocking off a 40-year-old cheerleader.
I got to keep it a million. At 15, I would have gave her the best minute and a half of her life.
Yo. All right.
Straight up. Because there's no way.
We got to move on, man. Yo, Dev, take the wheel, man. We got to move on before we go to jail, man. We got to move on.
All right. Well, she definitely, she definitely deserves one of these.
So should Border.
For different reasons. For totally different reasons.
Yo, that JoJo was not just for her. That JoJo was not just for her.
Hey, Jim, before our ratings drop by 300%, man, tell everybody who's having a birthday this week, man.
You already know, man. Whew. The birthdays this week are brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. Financing options are available. Visit digitalextremetech.com or call 267-205-4203. And for a discount, remember, War Room Sports sent you. That's how you read a drop, no money team. Birthdays. Man. Speaking of JoJo Awards, Tyrone Biggums, a.k.a. Lamar Odom, turns 35.
He gave the boy JoJo on his birthday. Shout out to Al Odom.
Yo, my man went from playing in the league to smoking crack, though. Eric Kramer turns 50. We also want to give a rest in... Yeah, Eric Kramer, old as hell. We also want to give a rest in peace shout out to Pat Tillman. The legendary Pat Tillman, not really for football reasons, but for the Cardinals. So rest in peace. James Naismith, Dr. Naismith, rest in peace. Shout out to him as well for creating this thing of ours in his little peach basket and whatnot.
I love you, Doc.
No doubt.
Yeah, Dr. James Naismith. We got a chime in real quick from @KC Mack. He wanted to say Gerald Riggs' birthday, Derek Alexander, and Walter Johnson as well. So, yeah, you know, Casey Mack always chime in with the extra birthdays. But those are the birthdays for the week. We'd like to give a nice big War Room salute to all these folks on their birthdays. Before we talk about some more topics, get the media blast.
All right, everybody, y'all can check out our website, warroomsports.com. While you're on that website, make sure you sign up for the War Report. That's our weekly newsletter. Then you can click the Contact Us tab if you want to send us a message about our company, our show, and inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities, or any other business you might have with War Room Sports. We are looking for writers. So if you're a sports writer or aspiring to be a sports writer, email us at info@warroomsports.com, and we can talk about it. While you're browsing the site, click on the memorabilia tab. Do some shopping. Buy some War Room Sports merchandise. Click the blog tab to read the aforementioned blogs. That's the All's Fair in Sports and More blog. Then you can click the respective icons and tabs to like our Facebook page where we talk sports all day, every day, to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our iTunes podcast where you can hear this show and all of our network shows on iTunes if that's your chosen medium. You can watch our videos at warroomsportstv.com. You can listen to our network shows directly at WRSPN.com. And you can download our free War Room Sports mobile app to get everything I just mentioned right there on the go in your pocket if your phone doesn't bend. Join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show at blogtalkradio.com/thewarroom. To enter the chat room, all you got to do is sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. But if you don't want to do that, you can sign in through your Facebook or Twitter accounts. And while you're at it, make sure you click follow. That'll get you updates and reminders about the show. We might be doing a special show, might be doing a show on a different night. Who knows? But you'll get updates and reminders about when the show is going to take place. We'll be taking questions and reading posts from Facebook, Twitter, and the chat room during the show like we do every week. If you want to call in and speak with us, dial the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you already listen from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. Let's talk about some hot topics real quick before we get Fred Perdue of College Football Extra on the line to give us this week's college football segment. Jimmy, hot topics are brought to the good people by one of your favorite sponsors. You want to let them know who that is?
Absolutely, and everyone knows who this is. If your schedule is too hectic to read as much as you want, try audiobooks and kick back and let someone else do the reading for you. All you have to do is visit
Audible. Can't read.
That too. I mean, maybe you're on part of the money team. All you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/warroomsports. In no time, you can listen to the latest bestsellers, hands-free, stress-free, while getting other things done. There are a lot of great audio books up there. One I want to recommend is Too Fat to Fish by Artie Lang. It's a hilarious book by a hilarious comedian, and I know we're going to talk about him sometime during this show, so shout out to Artie Lang. He's on Audible.
Yeah, after this story that we're about to talk about in Hot Topic, because we might not want to be promoting nothing for Artie Lang. We might not want to promote for him. So let's talk about that right now. Comedian Artie Lang sent a series of tweets about Carrie Champion. If everybody knows, she's one of the co-hosts on First Take on ESPN. Pretty, nice-looking African-American sister. Artie Lang, while watching the show, sent out a bunch of tweets. And I'm going to read the series of tweets. I'm going to try to keep it as PG as I possibly can, because I know we got some young people listening.
Tell them what it is.
No, I'm going to keep it PG. We have young people listening. Artie Lang, his first tweet says, "The chick on ESPN's First Take is so effing hot." Kept that PG. Artie Lang, trying to maintain erection and jerk off the chick on First Take, but they keep cutting back to Stephen A. Smith and the white guy. Frustrating. Then he said, "I want the chick on First Take to laugh at my white man part." Next one. Here's the is he drinking while watching First Take? Because that comes on at like 10 a.m. Here's the scenario I'm using to.
Man.
No, that's how he feels. That's how a lot of them.
Listen, here's the scenario I'm using to jay off to chick on First Take. I'm Thomas Jefferson, and she's my slave. She beats the SHIT out of me and runs free. Then I ejaculate, and she's free. The happiest ending ever. Artie Lang. Then, as reparations, I make Skip Bayless my slave. Artie Lang. This is a G-Damn miniseries. Artie Lang. Hey, now he starts to tag her in his tweets. Hey, at Carrie Champion, let's me and you get busy. Artie Lang. I attempt to whip at Carrie Champion because she disrespected the Jefferson Plantation, but she grabs, whips, and beats me. I ejaculate like a fat founding father. Artie Lang. After having 8 illegitimate kids together, at Carrie Champion and I marry at the Knights of Columbus in Linden, New Jersey. Prob with that? F off. Yo. Carrie Champion hasn't said anything about this yet, but they said Jamel Hill actually tweeted earlier today. I don't have her tweet. I can look it up while we're talking about it. And ESPN released an official statement saying his comments were reprehensible and no one should be subjected to such hateful language. The network said they objectify and demean one of our valued employees under the thin guise of quote-unquote comedy and are offensive to all of us. We will not dignify them with any other comment. He kept calling them.
All right. Well, here's my thing. I know his personality. I don't know him personally. I have been to one of his shows, but I know that, you know, his shtick or who he is. So, like, to me, it wasn't shocking. Some of the things were offensive, but at the end of the day, you know, he got his show canceled. And it is what it is. You have to deal with the, you know, the repercussions of your actions. We all know that there is free speech, but that comes with some caveats. So, I mean, it is what it is. The thing about it is I love comedy. I love comedians, and sometimes they go over the top. The whole slave thing, like, this is a bad time to make those jokes, though. You understand? Like, timing is terrible, considering what's going on in this country.
Probably always a bad time to make those jokes.
It is a bad time, but like, this past year has been crazy. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, things are crazy right now. So, and you know, the PC police are out there. So, I mean, you know, he got to deal with what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
in terms of Carrie Champion, let me shut up.
I'm familiar with the comedic stylings of one Mr. Artie Lang myself, and I'm probably the last person who has a right to go on a rant about about morality and comedy and, you know, inappropriateness and what we find funny and stuff like that. It's a known fact. I mean, if you listen to this show, you know, a lot of the stuff we say might be a little off the cuff, might be a little inappropriate. The stuff that we laugh at is definitely inappropriate, but there's some things there's some lines that you have to draw, and I think, you know, he not only stepped over those lines, I think he jumped over those lines full-bodied with this one because, I mean, you got the slave angle to it. You know, that's something that you don't really want to joke about, especially as a white guy. I mean, you know how it is. We can say certain things about ourselves, but we're not really looking at other races, you know, as giving them allowances to do stuff like that. And then I'm sure Carrie Champion just felt like she was under attack. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure she gets inappropriate comments every day of her life, especially on Twitter, because of the way she looks. She's a beautiful girl. Yeah, she's a beautiful woman, so I'm pretty sure her mentions are always filthy, but you kind of expect that from the no-name, regular, hide behind your keyboard, internet thugs. You expect that kind of stuff, but, I mean, and from
anonymity.
A certain aspect, you expect certain things from Artie Lang, but not just to single this woman out and then go on this sexist, racist, you know, Twitter rant about her. So, like you said, whatever his consequences were as far as his work, you know, he's going to have to pay those consequences. But I definitely think he stepped over the line. It was really inappropriate.
Like,
this
to me,
is coming from an inappropriate dude. But
here's the thing. Like, to me, he is a habitual line stepper. I don't think he knows the line. So for me, I didn't take it that way just based upon his character. Also, shout out to Jeff in the chat room. He put the Jamel Hill tweet. It says, people must realize at Artie Quitter's disgusting tweets to at Carrie Champion is also him joking about rape. Didn't realize that was comedy. So, you know, he got the, you know, consumer rape people after him. He got, because I just looked at his Twitter to see what was going on, and he was retweeting all the stuff people were sending at him. And he's getting it back just as quickly. So,
you know, I knew that we were going to have an opportunity to discuss this because we have a beautiful platform that we've created and worked hard to get it where it is. So shout out to us for being able to touch on social topics such as this. And I kind of was like, yo, how can I attack this? First of all, man, salute to Carrie Champion for even being in the position that she's in as a beautiful black woman. Initially, I was going to put my cape on, but being as though I'm married to another beautiful black woman, and she may listen to this episode, I don't want to get my face smacked. I'm gonna look at this and say I thoroughly love when things like this happen.
I do too.
Not because I'm happy or gleeful to see Carrie Champion as a fellow black person go through something like this. So I am sensitive, and I do empathize with her position because, as you said, she's getting hit out of the clear blue with this pervert, and she didn't expect it, nor did she deserve this. But my problem is here in America, we have glossed over race relations, people's feelings for so long, and because we have a month in February for black folks and Martin Luther King marched and got capped off and Medgar Evers got capped off and Mr. Shabazz, y'all know him as Malcolm X, got capped off and done, but they made some sacrifices, and here we are in 2014. It's my belief that Artie Lange's humor represents a large segment of white America. Not all of white America, not complete, but if you have only to look at the comments on sites such as ESPN or any other major news outlet where people are allowed to utilize anonymity and cowardice as their strength because they can hide behind a keyboard, and there's all types of crazy, racist, insensitive wildness that is said. And we don't really talk about this a lot. We don't get into this. Artie Lange represents those people, and there's millions of them out there. So I like when the racial discourse has to be had. We have to have these conversations because you have a large segment of white folks and some black that feel we're in a post-racial society. And I hate that. And I love when stuff like this happens because it forces the issue, because a post-racial perspective to me is a cowardly one because it chooses not to acknowledge the fact that the problems are not solved. Just because Barack Obama is in the White House does not mean that the problems are solved. And for Artie Lange to do this, I mean, to me, he just represents the feeling of a lot of other white men and women in our society. Not all, but a large portion.
But you know what? I honestly think that he was just trying to make a joke, but I don't think he realized, like, exactly. You know what I mean? He basically spoke and he didn't think about what he was saying, considering the climate we live in. But here's the thing. In terms of his career,
but for him
to
even,
because of what you just said.
For him to have a fantasy like that, for him to have a fantasy like that and to even think that, for him to have that particular fantasy, that's more than just cracking a joke. You understand
listen to what I'm
historical
saying,
context. You understand historical context.
His career is not going to suffer because of what you just said. Like, there are certain sets of people who will basically give him more support based upon what he said. And the fact of the matter is, it was egregious what he said. I don't want anyone to think that what I'm saying, it wasn't egregious. But at the end of the day, like, when you start censoring comedians, like, where does it stop? Now, I mean, the fact of the matter is, Twitter is a public, forum. He did add her, and he did lose his show because he had a show. I think it was on DirecTV, whatever it was, but he had a show, and his show got canceled. So his regular show got canceled. But I also don't want to get into the habit of just censoring comedians or anyone for that matter.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. So you making a rebuttal to me isn't?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I was expressing my opinion. I'm not rebutting what you said.
There was Comedy Central.
I think he's going.
Comedy Central. My bad.
He's going to pick up more. I think he's going to pick up more fans. And let's be honest, here in America, we have freedoms. Racists deserve a voice too. You can't just turn them off. See, I have a problem with the PC folks because they want to shut it down, shut it off real quick, and act like it's not there. And if we act like it's not there, it'll go away. That's not the way the problem gets solved. So
not at all.
We have to have these dialogues, and we have to have these discourses.
There are a reason why people think the way they think. I mean, we have, the KKKs out together. I mean, look at the Black Israelites. You know what I mean? The brothers, they say all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, I don't want to stop them from doing what they do.
Yeah, we have a show, Scandal, that basically sort of supports a much softer version of what he laid out, that celebrates. So it's there. Race is here in America, and it's not acknowledged.
So he
act like it's not. So.
He's been banned from ESPN from ever appearing on the network, and he lost a scheduled Comedy Central appearance. He lost a Comedy Central appearance due to his comments. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to go any farther than that. And the fact of the matter is, like, even though I despise the type of things he says, like B. Austin said, like I'd rather hear it than not if that's how you really feel. I mean, because we all know that, most jokes are rooted in some kind of truth. So, you're making fun of something that you really think. So not going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. But
yeah, this is
he
true.
had off-brand comedy like that for years. It's like whether you bang with him or you don't. I mean, either you bang with him or you don't.
My thing is this, man, like what you just said is so true. B. Austin said the same thing, man, but Malik El-Shabazz, he was like, look, man, I'd rather see the people that hate me be upfront about it. The ones that bother me, the ones that hide behind, hoods. He was speaking to someone in particular, but it's sort of the same thing. Like, I'd rather hear it. I'd rather know up front how you feel about me as opposed to you, exercising your white privilege. But that's a whole other thing. Let's move on, man, before we get in more trouble, man.
All right,
yeah,
we're gonna
trouble.
We're about to talk to Fred Perdue from collegefootballextra.com about this week in college football. But before we do that, I just want to give everybody our stat of the week. And just like last week, it is again about Ben Roethlisberger. We just had to throw him out there because he threw 6 more touchdown passes versus the Ravens to set an NFL record with 12 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Now, that's the 2-week record, but the record for a 3-week span is held by Peyton Manning with 15. So Ben would have to throw another 3 touchdowns this weekend to tie Peyton Manning's record and another 4 touchdowns to break it. So, real quick before we get to Fred, just let me know, fellas, do y'all think he'll tie, break, or fall short of the 15 touchdowns and 3-week record?
Who do they play?
The Pittsburgh Steelers this week are playing. Give me 1 second. Pittsburgh Jets. The Jets in that secondary.
I would actually say he may tie it. He's definitely not going to break it because the Jets are so bad. He's not going to need to throw a whole bunch of touchdowns for them to beat him. I mean, once they get up, they're just going to run the ball.
Yo, I don't think so. I think he may run it. I think he may throw another 6.
I was saying he got two championships. What's left besides him trying to go for a couple of records out there? I lean more to the side of him tying it. 3 touchdowns sounds about right, but people said that after he threw for 6 and he threw another 6. As a matter of fact, I won my fantasy matchup this week because my opponent listened to the fantasy experts who told them to sit Ben because he wouldn't have another week close to what he did the week before. So 49 points stayed on the bench, and I won the matchup by like 18 points. So shout out to homie for listening to the fantasy experts, and shout out to Big Ben for doing it again. Jim, what do you think, Jim? You say you think he might break it?
Yeah, I think he may break it, and I think they may try to get him to break it. One of them things where I think he's going to tie it, and I think a team may try to help him. And also Antonio Brown, a.k.a. Antonio Brown Rice.
The Jets might try to help him too with that defense.
a.k.a. Antonio Brown Rice. like he's playing out of his mind right now, and their running game is like, yo, they really don't have that much of a running game. I mean, let's not get it twisted. I don't want to say it because they're not terrible.
Whoa, I was about to say, dude.
No, they're not. No, they're not terrible at all. But it's not the old school Steelers. We're used to seeing the Steelers just pound the rock and the linebackers come up and crack everybody. This is a different team, and they play a completely different way. They spread it out, and Ben gets busy. So I think they're going to ride the wave, and he may break the record. Like you said, he already has 2 championships, and now Ben is about to try to stuff the stat sheet to get him, in the War Room Sports HOF or FOH talk, because that's the only reason he's doing it.
Yeah, to Jimmy's point, they're 13th in the league in rushing offense. And like you said, not that that's bad, but you're used to the Steelers being top 5 ground and pound.
Yeah, the Steelers is busy with it.
All right, so let's go, because we definitely got Fred on the line. Time for us to talk some college football real quick. So, as usual, everybody on the line with us is Fred Perdue of collegefootballextra.com. He's also a War Room Sports contributor, of course, to our college sports and to our NFL coverage with Field Vision. Fred, what's going on this week, bro?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
How are you?
Chilling.
I'm good. Oh, by the way, before we get this going, what's up, Jimmy? What's up, man?
Yo, man, how long you going to do this, man?
hey, Jim, he got to get you on. He got to get you on every medium, because everybody who watches Field Vision might not be listening.
Stop trolling, man.
Get him.
For those who have no clue what he's talking about, Fred is a Patriots fan and Jimmy is a Broncos fan. So it's his turn in the rotation to get some trash talking out. But
I want y'all to all go watch Field Vision to see what Fred said after he trolled me when he talked about the game, though. That's all I want y'all to do.
Hey, Jim, you should have extracted it and made it a clip, made it a sound bite.
I know. I should have thought about that.
But, Fred, this week in college football, man, let's get your games of the week. And the first one is number 12, Baylor, going to visit number 15, Oklahoma. What's going to happen?
I like what I've seen from both teams. Offensively, Oklahoma kind of slowed down a little bit after Sterling Shepard got hurt. But Sterling Shepard should be back. He's a star. Wide out for the Oklahoma Sooners. But I really do not see Baylor being able to put up points enough to hang with an Oklahoma's physicality, whether it's running the football or getting stops on defense. I think Oklahoma will find a way in a Big 12 that could easily be wide open right now.
Okay. Let's go to Notre Dame going into Arizona State.
I love Notre Dame, and that's hard for me to say because I don't really like the little green people from up in South Bend. But the Sun Devils, they get their quarterback. They've gotten their quarterback, Taylor Kelly, back. Jalen Strong looks really good. He looks like he could be a very, very good NFL wide receiver. He has the size. He won a game for them at USC a couple weeks back. He just ran under a Hail Mary. But I think Notre Dame will find a way. I think they're that one team, they're that dark horse that's not in the top 5 that will find a way to possibly jump in there. Maybe. It's going to be tough because their schedule winds down towards the end of the year, and a lot of those great teams you thought would be good aren't really that good. Notre Dame will squeak away with a victory, and I mean squeak away, 2 points or less.
Squeak. Okay. Then we got Kansas State at TCU.
TCU, after a couple weeks ago, dropped 82 points on Texas Tech. It looked like a college basketball score, not a college football score. Travell Boykin or Trevon.
What was that final score? What was the final score of that game?
82 to 53.
82 to what?
53. Texas Tech, they've never been known for their defense, but at the same time, Kansas State, they really can. They can slow a game down, and Bill Snyder is he's the model of consistency. His game works. He can adapt to anything. He brings in a lot of junior college guys, but Trevon Boykin, after finding a way to win at West Virginia in a game where you couldn't throw the ball, you couldn't punt the ball because they were in a windstorm. They found a way after coming back from a huge 3-touchdown deficit and found a way to come back. Kansas State finds a loss this week. I believe in these Horned Frogs.
Okay. Ohio State at Michigan State. This should be a good one.
Well, Michigan State wants to assume the rivalry status that Michigan has completely dropped over the last couple years. Ohio State and Urban Meyer, they've already said Michigan's their only rival. But Ohio State might have to bite their words, at least for this year, because Michigan State's going to win this game. J.T. Barrett has come a long way since being that wide-eyed redshirt freshman, going up against just a barrage of teams, losing to Virginia Tech of all teams, who has completely changed. They're 4-5 right now. They've been blown out a couple of times by the likes of all of my Miami Hurricanes. It's been completely blown out. But Ohio State, their offense is very simple. They're going to run the football. They're going to run a lot of read options. But in the end, I think Connor Cook will come through. That defense for Michigan State, they'll find a way. And I think at the end, the defense will hold at the end.
All right, and last game, number 5, Alabama at number 16, LSU. Is it going to be a roll tide situation?
This game, I've been going back and forth for all day long. I woke up with this game on my mind. I can't find my way to pick LSU. I can't find a way to pick LSU at home, although they win at home at night. They always win, and crazy things happen. But I can't find my way to pick Alabama because their quarterback, Blake Sims, doesn't play well on the road. But I trust Nick Saban. I don't trust the Mad Hatter and Anthony Jennings. And Brandon Harris. I don't trust those guys because they're going to rotate eventually because Nick Saban's going to bring out all the big guns for this game. Give me Alabama by late. They'll run the clock out up 3 and a big-time win to propel them to a showdown against Mississippi State. If they win that game, they go on to play Auburn. They win that game, they go to an SEC title and do what I think they'll do and go on to a playoff.
All right, well, speaking of playoffs, what's your top 4 this week? Do you agree with the one that's already out there, or do you have a different one?
For me, I feel like Alabama should be in this top 4. As good as Oregon has been, I just don't agree with Oregon right now. I think Oregon is fool's gold a little bit because once they run into a team that can slow Mariota down, I don't think their defense is going to be able to hold up long enough. Nick Saban, he's the model of consistency when it comes to big games, especially if you give him multiple weeks. He's the prodigy of Bill Belichick, and when you have that pedigree, that really is that has something to do with it. And the only thing I will say about Alabama, they're going to have to get their running. They're going to have to get freshman left tackle Cam Robinson healthy. He may be out, as well as junior running back TJ Yeldon. They're going to have to get those guys back healthy for a run at the end. But if those guys get healthy, it's Alabama all the way.
All right, so let everybody know where they can get in touch with you online. Where can they hit you up on Saturday while the games are on?
Well, you can visit me at collegefootballextra.com. The website is up. It'll be updated throughout the week. And on Twitter, you can reach me at FPurdueSports. You can also catch me on Field Vision with the rest of the War Room Sports crew, just talking football in general.
All right, and that's on War Room Sports TV. We got a new episode that came out this morning, so y'all go check it out. Check Fred out, and we'll talk to you next week, bro.
All right, bye, Jimmy. Talk to you later, man.
All right, Fred Purdue, everybody.
All right, guys.
collegefootballextra.com. Before we move on, B. Austin and I think Jimmy, did Jimmy duck out for a sec? I got a question because I just got, a text. I think we all got it, actually. our War Room General, our brother Akil, he was just talking to Tracy Lee. Of course, everybody, if you listen, you know Tracy Lee was a guest on our show last week. He actually co-hosted with us. And he was asking Akil, first of all, you know, he's thanking him for the support and everything. And we definitely support the brother, man. He's making great music at a time where I think we need this great music. But he asked Akil what we think should be his next single and what is each one of our favorite songs. I probably need a little bit more thought on the single tip because we are businessmen. So, you know, we have to look at that not only from a music standpoint, but from a business standpoint. So, T. Lee, if you're listening, we'll definitely get back to you with the single question. But do you guys have a favorite song on the album? I know Jimmy was quoting a few, you know, when he was on. Jim, you got a favorite song on the album?
No, man.
Because it's definitely one of those joints where you can listen to. Yo, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Stop playing. Listen, man, make that the single and everything, man. I'm trying to be in a video, too. I mean, some models and, I mean, get Carrie Champion in the video. My fault.
Yo, me and B. Austin were driving to Philly on, what was that, Sunday? We was driving to Philly on Sunday, and we were playing the album. And Stop Playing came on, and, yo, we couldn't help it. Like, we was just riding up 95 with the Who Farted looks on our face because he was showing off on that one, yo.
Yo, man,
he was silly on that song.
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. If you listening, so for us, I think the general consensus is going to be "Stop Playing" is probably our favorite track because we like verbal and lyrical gymnastics, and when you punching cats in the face
assault
with your lyrics, he was punching cats like he was doing that Roy Jones back in like 95 before Roy became what we know him to be today. Like he was showing off. But as
he talked plain old 50 on that song, man. So that's my answer right there. Stop playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. And dumb it down. Man, you got to drop something for the ladies, man. Your next single got to be for the ladies. So Howard Girls.
So you're thinking Howard Girls or the other song with Eric
Howard Girls. But
that's what I'm saying. We'll discuss that because that might be the move. That might be the move from the business perspective. But as far as my favorite track, man, stop.
Yo, I'm telling y'all, and I'm telling him, stop playing. Yo, speaking of Roy Jones, and this is not like something I just want to throw out there. Have you guys seen any of the 24/7 with B-Hop, yo?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
I didn't even know they. Tell you the truth, I didn't even know they had a 24/7.
Yo, B-Hop.
I thought that was just for pay-per-view fights. I'm sorry, I need to watch.
No, it's definitely on November 8th. B-Hop is in the ring, but all I'm saying, is B-Hop, is so impressive to see it to that age. you know, on 24/7 they show you like the behind the scenes, the workouts and all that. Like, I just fairly impressed, man.
Yo,
I'm gonna go check that out.
Come on the show, man. We're gonna have you on the show, B-Hop, if we can get him. Because B-Hop loves to talk, so he'll come on if we can get him listeners, man. Come on the show, man.
Yo,
so we can talk,
all we gotta do
because
we know a couple of people who know B-Hop. Yo, the people that we know who know B-Hop, just tell B-Hop that B. Austin hates Donovan McNabb, and he'll probably just say cool right away. So,
oh man!
So they can get
they better block out 3 hours for that one, gentlemen.
But Hop is one of my favorite athletes of all time. Like I love B-Hop, no homo. But come on, man, it's time to leave, man. You gotta leave on top. But
he's still winning though.
He keep beating these young boys up though. He does.
He does. But it takes him 3 rounds just to get his body warm. Like
get his back rub, get his body moving. Listen though. But he still wins though.
Jimmy caught that, yo. Shout out to Wayne Agee, my man.
Yo, we got a call on the line real quick, Jeff. Before we move on, let's get the homie on. I know he wants to say something about Fred talking about his Roll Tide. So let's get the homie on, Tobias, real quick. Tobias, what's up, homie?
Roll Tide, gentlemen. Roll damn Tide.
What up?
All right, first, I was on What's up? I was on YouTube. I saw a clip for NBA Live 15. The first thing I said was, EA Sports is over. Hang it up. You had a good run.
They still
trying? Terrible.
They still trying?
Yeah, I don't know why they wasted the staff and the resources, but
you gotta admit, at one point they had that game on lock though, Tobias, and then like somebody came.
Oh yeah.
Like, when they had it on lock, I would never think that somebody would come along and take the throne, but they put so much resources behind Madden, they kind of forgot about basketball and someone stole it.
Yeah, it was the truth. Before I get on like basketball, being an Alabama fan, I don't think Alabama should be in the top 4, and I'm glad they're not in the top 4 right now. Keep them hungry. Because Alabama has games against LSU, Mississippi State, and Auburn. Win all 3, they're in. It's all about the final standing. Because you remember the BCS used to come out, everybody got mad, but then it straightened itself out. It's just like it is now. You probably won't even have 2 SEC teams in. You probably end up with a Big Ten, a Pac-12, or somebody else. But let's be honest about the Big Ten. No, I don't like this whole reward of conference champions because all conferences aren't equal. Ask yourselves this: Michigan State and Ohio State play this weekend, right? Before this game, what Big Ten game that made you get off the lawnmower for to watch? That's what I was saying. See,
he got a point. He definitely got a point.
Yeah, and that's the problem. But for the basketball thing, real quick, 2 points. Y'all know I'm a big Bulls fan. Derrick Rose get a head cold right now or allergy attack, and everybody start questioning his toughness. People, this is Game 4 of the regular season. It's a sprained ankle. Anyone who has played basketball in the NBA, the playground, has stepped on someone's foot before. It happens.
He actually has 2 sprained ankles. Both of his ankles are sprained. But I don't think people are questioning his toughness. But can you blame them for being nervous? Like, especially, the fans in Chicago who are at those games.
Hey, you gotta understand.
They said when he came down on that dude's foot, there was a collective gasp in the stadium. Like oh my God, you can't blame him, man. He's been out for the better part of 2 whole years. You can't blame them for being nervous every time this dude gets hurt, man.
But then he sits out for it, right? Everybody's mad.
If a young lady from the Caucasus Mountains came out and said Kobe took the punani, it's going to be a certain way we look at it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, I mean, not like any old guard like turn their ankle. This is Derrick Rose, so we look at this a certain way, man. Like, good, bad, or indifferent. That's how it's going to be for the rest of his career.
Yeah, and he played through it, but he tweaked it. He tweaked it again last night, but he played through it and said that he felt that he had to play through it because of a little bit of pressure from the fans. But hey,
and that's the problem.
That he feels that pressure.
Yeah, that's a problem because Chuck rushed folks back in November. I didn't think Taj Gibson should have played the other night. Because if you're hobbled in November, what's the point? You should be ready for April and May and June. That's when you should be ready to go. And but I'll say this real quick, make other thing.
But I think they want to take advantage of Cleveland struggling right now and make sure they get that number 1 seed. So go ahead, make your point though. I'm sorry.
And that's what I was going to touch on Cleveland. And I told everybody at the beginning of the year, Chris Bosh is going to have a great year. He'll be back to what he was. He's balling right now.
Oh yeah. I must have forgot.
How come no one? Yeah, people say LeBron makes folks better. Yeah, Mo Williams, but he didn't make Chris Bosh or Dwayne Wade better. Now Cleveland struggling. It's everybody else's fault but LeBron, like how it always been.
Oh,
Kyrie Irving.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not a Kyrie fan. I think he's overrated. But he is not a stand in the corner player who wait on his cookie. They keep talking about the ball in his hands. He's a damn point guard. Point guards are supposed to have the ball in their hands. I never understood that.
Well, let me tell you something real quick, Tobias. Here's a stat I want to run by you. This is a crazy stat. Dev gave our stat, but this could have also been our stat of the week. Kyrie Irving has 36 field goal attempts since his last assist.
That's why I say he's overrated. That's why I say he's overrated. And I believe.
But you know what though?
How's it possible to play point guard and not be named Allen Iverson and have 36 field goal attempts since your last assist?
Hey, Jim, because you just said it right there. Because he's more Allen Iverson than Chris Paul. So
he's not a leader.
That's it right there.
See,
they might want to
the
move
problem
him.
is he's not a leader. See, he's not a leader, and I always believe that they should have kept Wiggins and traded Dion Waiters for chemistry purposes. Dion Waiters could be the next Jamal Crawford. Yes, and plus Wiggins could have helped defensively because he's already a good defender. He's not going to command those shots. Right. Let's be honest. Dion Waiters is kind of like Jeremy Shockey in the NBA. He wants his touches, and he doesn't care. No. And so I believe. So if I'm Cleveland, they already talking about LeBron may leave. I'm like, dude, LeBron's never going to be happy. So I'm like this.
I want to go and
Tobias. We gotta go, but LeBron is going to be happy because LeBron is a mercenary. That's what people don't understand. He's loyal only to the dollar and his brand, so he'll play anywhere. Yeah. But we gotta go, man.
All right, man.
We gotta go.
Yeah, we're taking roll tide. After we talk some football, we're gonna talk about this very topic. So we have to holler at you.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
all right. So let's go ahead and get into some of that NFL talk before we get back into basketball. Mm-hmm.
The NFL
before you do that, Jim, I just want to tell everybody y'all can check out the website, like we tell you, WarRoomSports.com. Call in and speak to us about any of today's topics. If you're going to call in right now, preferably talk about the NFL because we're about to talk about that. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted, but if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. Let go.
Okay, the NFL is brought to you by Stitcher Smart Radio. You can now hear our show, The War Room, on Stitcher Smart Radio because Stitcher allows you to listen to our show from your iPhone, your Android phone, your BlackBerry, your Palm phone. But if you have a BlackBerry or Palm phone, go to your roof right now, jump off, and kill yourself. The latest episode is always available for you. No syncing needed, no memory or storage wasted. Downloading is easy. Go to WarRoomSports.com. Click on that Stitcher logo, and make sure to enter the promo code The War Room. That's one word, TheWarRoom. It will enter you into a contest to win millions and millions of money. Let's talk football, gentlemen. All right, my brothers and Eagles fans, I want to, just open the floor and let you guys talk about this. Nick Foles is out right now due to injury, and his replacement, in the words of Ray Lewis, is Maul Sanchez. So now that Maul Sanchez is leading the Eagles, how confident are you, gentlemen, as Eagles fans?
He's a backup. I think that in this system, I feel as though Foles will probably be out for about 6 weeks. I think that if we can manage to go 4-2 in that 6-week span, we are way ahead of the game, and I'm happy with whatever we did as a team, collectively. I don't believe that Maul Sanchez is a starting quarterback in the NFL. I believe that he is a backup. And a backup's job is to come into the game and play well. A part of that is the fact that the defense of the teams you're facing, at least for the first couple weeks, aren't going to be prepared for you and your tendencies because they've been focused on Nick Foles, who's the starter. So that gives him a little bit of an advantage. And a backup quarterback can be a serviceable to very good player in short spurts. So I feel like, he can throw an NFL ball, he can hit an open receiver, and he can run the offense. So I don't feel like it's the end of our season or the end of the world, but I do need to speak to the Philadelphia fans that are clamoring for him to be a starter. There is nothing in your foolhardy mind that you have ever seen in your life that should make you believe that Maul Sanchez is a starter for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Well, be also they saw preseason. That's important.
They saw You're right. The preseason. You saw how he performed in the preseason, dude. We don't want Mark Sanchez as our starter. Even in that game, he came in, he performed pretty well, but he had a couple of errant WTF throws that would put you in the mind of Jamarcus Russell. One of those throws was so bad, it was like a 15-yard dig route with the receiver coming across, and the receiver had to be beat. The defensive back was beaten by at least 2 to 3 yards. Sanchez threw the ball and hit the corner in the chest. And the corner was so surprised he dropped it because he was like, I'm beat. That should have been a completion for at least 15 to 20 yards.
Which would have been his third turnover, B. Austin, in one half. Because the fans that you're talking about are lamenting Foles for his turnover problems this year, his 10 interceptions. But Mark Sanchez, who a lot of people are saying, well, we should give him a shot at being a permanent quarterback, would have had his third interception in the half. Now, one of them wasn't his fault, bounced off the hands of the receivers. But, come on, that would have been 3 turnovers, even in a win.
And my last point, which I know you'll elaborate on, Des, is that I believe Nick Foles to be a victim of his success, which we've seen previously. The expectations are far too high for a young quarterback. And I know this isn't really germane to Sanchez playing or starting, but to those who are overly critical of Foles, I don't expect him to play perfect football. He's a young quarterback. It's going to take him another 2 or 3 seasons to grow into being what we want him to be, which is a marquee top-name guy. It's going to take 2 or 3 seasons for that to happen.
In relief for Mike Vick last season, Foles came in and basically threw out his Illmatic album. So just like the homie Nas, like everybody's expecting Illmatic every time Foles goes out, and that's just not realistic because realistically,
but he
counting him
at the same time though, Daz, he didn't give us it was written either though.
No, I mean, no. Well, we're saying that, but the season was yet to be written, and now he's injured. And the
Godson.
And the team is 6-2, and
no,
the team
is
6-2 without. No, I feel you. The team is 6-2 without a dominant defense. So it's like people are harping on the negatives of what he does, but the thing that I gave Nick Foles props for all season long is in games when he did do things to set the team back, turnovers at the wrong time, red zone inefficiencies, he always picked himself up, and by the end of the game, he had this team in a position to either win, to strike or win every game. And the team is 6-2, and you still got fans calling for the quarterback's head. So, it's just that culture of immediacy, like B. Austin and Jimmy, like you guys always talk about. The fans want it all, every single snap, every single play, every single week.
Immediately.
And people are gonna have bad games. They're gonna have bad moments in games. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna struggle. You might even have bad seasons at times. But I just think that, like B. Austin said, he's a victim of his own success from last year. The bar was set really high by his 27 touchdowns versus 2 interceptions last year, and people expect that, not giving him a chance and not allowing him to be a young quarterback and mess up, even though he's messing up in the midst of a 6-2 season. And contrary to what some people have told me lately, the Eagles aren't 6-2 in spite of Nick Foles. I think that's really silly to say.
6-2 because of Nick Foles.
I'm not even going to say because of, but it's definitely not. It's not because of, but it's not in spite of. Like, saying that they're 6-2 in spite of him is kind of like saying this dude is not helping at all, and some other unit or some other component of this team is dominating and getting the victories. I mean, he's not underwater with his touchdown to interception ratio. He does have more touchdowns than interceptions. So people go a little strong with the verbiage. But that's the whole Nick Foles thing. Jimmy asked us about Sanchez. I have confidence because of his experience, Jim. I mean, he has 4 full years as a starter. Now, I wasn't impressed by anything he did then, but the people who will ride or die for Sanchez will point to the 2 AFC championship games. come on, when you have a defense like that, you manage the games. And for 2 seasons, he managed the games. When they tried to turn it over to him more so in the 3rd and 4th season, he couldn't really get it done. I think this system is better for him. You probably can plug him in and have some success. But, yeah, as a permanent quarterback, no days. I can't even endorse that. And I used to be a Sanchez apologist. But I think they can stay afloat. B. Austin talked about 6 to 8 weeks. The next 8 games to finish out the season, Panthers, Packers, Titans, Cowboys, Seahawks, Cowboys, Washington, and the New York Giants. So it's not going to be easy to come across those 4 wins unless he is playing really well. So I hope Mark Sanchez can do what he does, what he can do.
I don't think anything is personal to Nick Foles, because at the end of the day, the most popular guy on most football teams in the NFL is the backup quarterback.
Unless you have one of the elite guys.
Exactly. Unless you have one of those guys that, the backup.
Where you don't even know who the backup is.
Jimmy, really quick, though, I need some clarity when you say that, because I understand your logic exactly, and I agree with the logic. But a lot of the fans that we talk about, or talk to, rather, and are discussing, there is something personal towards Foles because
they never wanted him, and they still talking about Mike Vick.
No, I mean, I understand that. I'm talking about. I can't remember an Eagles quarterback in my lifetime, even going back to Ron Jaworski or Randall Cunningham or Rodney Peete or even Donovan McNabb, who the fans liked. They've never had a guy that they stood behind. It's always 50-50 no matter who the quarterback is. I mean, and the fact of the matter is, I guess you can say they never had one of those guys. Not too many teams have one of those guys, which is why I still can't believe the Colts had 2 of those guys. That's unfair. But anyway.
But this is why that's why I don't understand, Jim. Like, Eagles fans talk like our team lore has names like Montana, Marino, Elway. Like they're used to this or something. Yeah. So why are you so spoiled? Let this man develop and turn into a good quarterback. Like, they're not giving him a chance.
So the fact of the matter is that's one thing. That's one thing. I don't think it's personal. I think it's just one of them things where, listen, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles is always going to be a position in this city where you're going to get that. You're going to get that regardless of who it is, unless somehow they sign Tom Brady or something. Now, with that being said, the next thing is B. Austin said something that Sanchez will be okay because teams haven't really prepped for him. They're not ready for what he brings to the table. And I agree. Nobody is ready. How do you defend the butt fumble? Anyway.
There you go. There you go.
With that being said, speaking of quarterback, let's talk about the Texans. They've replaced Fitzpatrick with Mallett. Mallett, I am. Anyway, with Mallett. Was that a good move?
Put me in the mix. I think it was a move that they had to make. When they got Ryan Mallett, I kind of figured Ryan Fitzpatrick was on a bit of a shorter leash because Mallett was over in New England with O'Brien, so he's familiar with him. He's familiar with his offense, and he really never got his chance because he was sitting behind Tom Brady. Remember, Ryan Mallett came into the league with a little bit of fanfare, but, he dropped low enough to go to a team that was a winner and a team that had a superstar quarterback that was going nowhere. So he never really got his chance. So I think he better take advantage of this chance and hold on to it and be the quarterback that everybody thought he could be. But I think the move was inevitable because Fitzpatrick just isn't doing anything to move this team, and this team has talent. So I'm thinking they're making the move because they figured this may be our last gasp at trying to do something. They have a pretty good defense, not a great secondary, and plus a lot of those guys are getting injured. But, their front seven is tough. You got J.J. Watt over there. You got, on the offensive side, you got Andre Johnson still, who's a beast against anybody. You got the running back, if you can keep him healthy. They got some talent. So, yeah, I think they had to make the move so they can go for it, man. He's a guy that's not a starting quarterback in the NFL, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
This is their attempt to catch lightning in a bottle. I'm not mad at the decision. As Dev said, Mallett was sort of touted and acclaimed, even though he was relatively, not low draft pick, but he wasn't, high. I like Fitzpatrick, his game.
Why?
I just think that he has to find a way to cut down.
What do you like about his game? What do you like about his game?
He makes quick decisions. No.
Yeah, he's in beer gang.
Yeah, I don't really think, because I don't even think it's an attempt to catch lightning in a bottle. I think it's an attempt, like, damn, we have to do something. We're wasting talent right now. Like, we have to do something to get something done. And the best thing Fitzpatrick does probably is scramble. Like, when it breaks down,
scramble.
He's more elusive. He's more elusive than a lot of people may think. You know what I'm saying? If they don't watch Texans games, like he can get on his horse, but he's not doing anything in the passing game. So they got to make the move, man. Let him rock. Let him put him in the mix.
Right.
Ho.
Mallet. Anyway, that's what's going on over there with the Texans. Let me ask you guys a question, because we are getting, for those listening, we're getting ready to give our mid-season awards out. Before we give an award, let's talk about right now at the midway point, who is the best team in the National Football League? In my opinion, I would actually pick Arizona Cardinals, believe it or not. You know, that's not saying they're going to win a championship, but right now, if I have to give my pick of who is the best team, that's who I'm rolling with. So, what do you guys think as of right this second?
It's crazy, Jim, because this changes damn near week to week in this league. 3 weeks ago, you asked this question, I might have even said Dallas. But you can't get that to them right now. Arizona has to be in a mix of 7-1. The team that's playing the best right now are the Patriots. I still would put Denver in that mix, even though they got annihilated. Right now, I have to say the New England Patriots, man. The way they're clicking, you know, Tom Brady, Gronk is back, and that's the biggest component of the whole thing. Because you know, at first, you know, he wasn't playing exactly like Gronk. Now he's dominating. Past 3 or 4 weeks, Gronk is dominating, and getting him going, getting the defense going, and getting Tom Brady going again. You know, it's going to be hard to stop this team. So I'll give it to them right now, with an honorable mention to the Cardinals. I know they're like, man, we get no respect at 7-1, but I'll go with the Patriots.
Get no respect because you're the Cardinals. Did y'all see?
But the Cardinals have been the most consistent though, because at one point we said the Patriots. Well, we didn't say it. People were saying the Patriots are washed up, so it has to be Cardinals.
Did y'all see that one? Did y'all see that one-handed catch Gronk made with the arm that has all that equipment on it?
The robotic arm, Terminator arm.
The robotic, the $6 million arm. Man, there's so much parity in the NFL right now. It's very difficult to say who is the best
Snoop
team.
doubles.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Jimmy's Broncos. I don't feel as though in football the best team always wins. I don't feel as though the best team always wins. I think that if the Broncos play the Patriots 5 times, I have the Broncos winning at least 4 of those. So I'm still going to stick with the Broncos. I like what they do on defense. I like what they have.
Yo, hold up. You said at least 4 of those. Well, that could be at most because they already lost the first one. At least has to be at most. But I get you.
Well, at most.
No, I want to agree with that because I do think they're tough because they have a tougher defense this year. They didn't show it last week. But, yeah. So they're in the mix. Whether or not I think they're number 1 right now, they're in the mix.
Listen, man, I understand
because I get your point, B. Austin, because there's a difference between power rankings and who you basically think is just the best team in the league. So it's a distinct difference.
I just want to say that because it ain't no best. East, West, North, South, fall style, greedy. But no, listen, seriously, at KC Mac 38 said the Cardinals are beatable. I never said they weren't beatable, but I also think that every team in the NFL is beatable. I don't think that there is any one team that puts any fear in my heart. Like, yo, I'm afraid to play this team because they all have weaknesses this year. There is no. Think about this. Like, there were no undefeated teams in, like, week 4 this year. Like, the Dolphins partied mad early.
I was about to say, Jim, the fact that there's no undefeated teams pretty much show you that everybody's beatable.
Yeah, everybody's beatable.
From a literal
The thing about the Patriots, though, because the Patriots were my pick outside of the Cardinals, and I think they're the hottest team right now. I don't know if I would necessarily call them the best because I think the Cardinals are more well-rounded, but the thing about it is, are they peaking too soon? Because we've seen teams like go through a run in the middle of the season, and then by the end of the season, they're all out of gas. Like, so I wonder about that with them. Can they keep up this pace because they are on fire right now?
That team is on fire.
Yeah, so I mean,
all right, well, let's
get into our
speed through these picks.
Awards. The mid-season awards we're going to go over are Coach of the Year. We're going to do Comeback Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and the MOVIP, Most Valuable Player. You know what I mean? Or Most Valuable Poet on the MIC, in the words of Big L, rest in peace. But, Dad, let's start with you. You want to give your pick?
Yes, sir, and I'll start with Coach of the Year, and I think, judging from field vision, we all agree on this. Bruce Arians would be my Coach of the Year right now. As we speak, my Comeback Player of the Year is between two players. One, Jeremy Maclin of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Rob Gronkowski. I would give Rob Gronkowski the edge right now because even though their stats are eerily similar, I think Gronk's impact it goes farther to what that team is doing right now than Jeremy Maclin's impact. Not saying that he's not having a big one because he is. Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm going to go Anthony Barr, linebacker from the Minnesota Vikings. There are a few linebackers and maybe a few more defensive rookies out there who have comparable or even better stats, but he's making the impact stats, forced fumbles, recovered fumbles, touchdowns, J.J. Watt type stuff. Offensive Rookie of the Year was between Sammy Watkins and Zach Martin. I'm going to give it to the big dog up front, Zach Martin, opening up the holes for DeMarco Murray and keeping the Cowboys in contention. Defensive Player of the Year, might as well just call it the J.J. Watt Award. I got J.J. Watt. Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go DeMarco Murray. Having a hell of a start to the season. We'll see if he can continue it at that pace. And MVP, I'm going to go with the homie Andrew Luck because what he's doing week in and week out for that team, not even just this season, but since he's gotten there, it's just stupid. And now in his third year, he's even making less mistakes in doing that, so it looks even more ignorant every other week. And I said ignorant.
All right.
That's how I meant to say it.
Because a lot of my picks are pretty much the same as yours. And again, we don't rehearse this or anything, but fact of the matter is the Coach of the Year, in my opinion, is Bruce Arians. Comeback Player of the Year is Rob Gronkowski. Shout out to Maclin. I didn't even think about him at all. Gronk's impact, like you said, is just tremendous on that team. My Defensive Rookie of the Year, this is a little bit different. I have C.J. Mosley from the Ravens because this dude right here is an animal, playing linebacker, of course. A lot of good young linebackers in the league. Yes, Offensive Rookie of the Year is Zach Martin.
My team didn't get any of them.
Offensive Rookie of the Year is Zach Martin, the guard for the Cowboys, because he is just pancaking people, throwing people around, and DeMarco Murray is, grabbing all the yards. Defensive Player of the Year, why even say it? Like you said, the J.J. Watt Award. My Offensive Player of the Year isn't DeMarco Murray. Give him an honorable mention, as well as giving Big Ben an honorable mention, but I have Andrew Luck as the Offensive Player of the Year, and the most valuable player I have is Thomas Brady for the New England Patriots. Be awesome. What say you?
Brady.
I think that Bruce Arians is unanimous, and as Jimmy likes to say, if you picked anyone else, you can head up to the roof of your domicile and jump off head first.
Of your cardboard
Comeback
box.
Player of the Year. Comeback Player of the Year. Salute to Jeremy Maclin. Salute to Arian Foster. Salute to the Gronk. But I'm going Rolando McClain because those other gentlemen had their minds in football. And Rolando McClain was somewhere planting daisies and gardening and decided to come back to football, and he's just balling, out of control. My Defensive Rookie of the Year, Kyle Fuller. Very, very, very difficult to make the transition from NCAA, playing cornerback at that level, and playing cornerback at the next level, and he's an impact player. Honorable mention, C.J. Mosley and Anthony Barr. Those guys are balling. I would have picked C.J. Mosley, but Kyle is a difference maker. Offensive Rookie of the Year, as you saw on Field Vision, I picked the young and talented, very athletic dickhead, Sammy Watkins. I actually want to give that as a co-award to Zach Martin, because the fat guys never get any love, and they're usually the reason for the game that you love existing. So co-award there. Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt. Who knew? Offensive Player of the Year, DeMarco Murray. Salute to Aaron Rodgers, though. And then the MVP, most valuable player, Peyton Manning. Shout out to Andrew Luck.
All right. No doubt. All right. That's our mid-season awards. We'll get back to you guys at the end of the season, see if anything's changed.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who I picked in the beginning. So,
Yo, me either. I have to go back and see who I picked in the beginning, and but who knows?
Right.
Things liable to change. But listen, though, real quick, I'm going to get you guys picks on a couple of games real fast. Browns at Bengals. B. Austin, who you got?
Brownies.
Oh, that's
Give me the Brownies.
Okay, Dev.
I got the Bengal Tigers pulling this one out. It's a very tight division right now, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's the most competitive division in football. I'm also rolling with the Bengals. We have Andy Reid, Chiefs at Bills. I'm rolling with the Chiefs. Dev, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Bills at home, and like I told you guys before, it's mainly because I always pick against the Bills, and they just keep winning when I pick against them, so I'm going to switch it up. So watch they lose. Bills at home.
No doubt. B. Austin, who you got?
I've got to do a better job of putting players in a better position to make plays. The loss was on me. It was my fault. I'm going with Fat Andy and his Chiefs.
No doubt. Stay with you, B. Austin. Dolphins at Lions.
I'm going with the Cowardly Lions. Megatron, Bumblebee, Starscream.
Got you. Dev, who you got?
And Scooby-Doo. I got the Lions as well. They are getting Megatron back. He's got Golden Tate playing out of his mind. The defense is one of the best in the NFL. I'm going to go with the Lions.
All right. I'm also going to go with the Lions. I'm going with Flint, Duke, never mind, Lady J. But I'm going with the Lions, though.
Also, Jim, you know, my mother-in-law's from Detroit, and she's a Lions fan, and Thanksgiving is coming up. So, you don't want to. I already trash the Lions every year at Thanksgiving because they play on Thanksgiving. So,
trying to get some
I
of that
gotta be nice
cooking.
to the people that's gonna be. The people that's gonna be cooking my food. I gotta say nice things. Go Lions.
49ers at the Saints. I'm taking I don't know if this is really an upset, but I'm taking the Niners in this game. Dev, who you got?
I'm taking the Saints. My Super Bowl pick back in it after they win this game. It's on. I'm telling y'all. Drew.
B. Austin.
Until the African American quarterback plays the position in a different manner, Colin Kaepernick will. Never mind. I'm not even going down that path. I'm taking the Saints.
No
Uncle
doubt.
Ruckus,
those are those games are kind of suspect. So, which means we're probably going to have an exciting week of the NFL because a lot of times when you have the big games, they all suck. So we'll see what happens. But last but not least, let's talk about some NBA, man. A lot going on in the NBA.
Yeah, we got a few stories in the NBA that we want to get to before we're off the air. It's only a weekend, and we got drama already. So for the best in your favorite team's merchandise and apparel, shop Fanatics. Shopping Fanatics is easy. Just go to our website, WarRoomSports.com, click on the Fanatics logo on our main page or on our sponsors page, and get the latest in NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, NCAA gear, and more. What we doing? Oh. Nope, we ain't playing twice. All right, so this is back, NBA Players of the Week. You guys know once the season starts, we do this every week. And the NBA players of the very first week of the season is one, Christopher Bosh. Christopher, y'all must have forgot Bosh. And Klay Thompson from your Golden State Warriors. Chris Bosh averaged 25.7 points, 11.3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.3 steals as he led the Miami Heat to a 3-0 week. Now, y'all know, because we talked about it, he came out opening night against the Wizards with 26 and 15 and just wanted to send a statement to the league and to all the fans out there who must have forgot what Chris Bosh was before he had to take the back seat to the back seat. They had him in the third row of the Suburban. When LeBron was still in town. Yeah, they had him back in the little child pull-out John, and now he's in the driver's seat trying to remind y'all why he was so highly touted in that 2010 free agency class. Klay Thompson, on the other hand, led the league in scoring at 29.7 a game. This dude shot 45% from three-point land, 91% at the foul line, and he had a career-high 41 points on 14 of 18 shooting against the Lakers in a little duel with Kobe Bryant the other day. He had 41, Kobe had 28. And of course, you know, Kobe's just chucking, so he had a lot more shots than 18 to get his 28. But it was an exciting, especially in the third quarter. They were just going mano-a-mano. Yo, I didn't know, I'm not going to say I didn't know, but I like to see when Klay Thompson demonstrates, you know, these dark-skinned tendencies. And he's showing people that he's a two-guard that's going to be reckoned with. He could make a case at some point during this season for being the best shooting guard in the league if he's going to continue at this pace.
He can. Klay Thompson.
And the Warriors
you might look
went
at Klay
last week.
You might look at Klay and think that he belongs playing in one of Prince's bands or hanging with Morris Day in the time, but he plays ball like he rolls with Nat Turner, John Brown, and them. Like, that's how he hoops.
Or like Trey Lee said, B. Austin, he's ahead of the time like Morris Day. Ew, y'all don't get that. Great, I'm sorry.
I smack y'all. Klay is tough, man. Klay is tough. He plays on both sides of the floor, which I believe is why my compatriot Devin took a little underneath, not really a shot at James Harden, but kind of a shot at James, because we know big game James Harden is a, you know, we like him around here at War Room Sports, but we're also not afraid to criticize the fact that he is criminally negligent on the defensive end of the court, you know, and Klay is not.
And he is nowhere near big game James. Matter of fact, he's small game James because
call my man
he still hasn't showed up in the playoffs.
Yo, Pete the ballistic. See, here's my thing with Klay Thompson. He definitely shows dark skin tendencies, man. But he represents something else to me, man. Like, if you notice, like with him, with Kyrie Irving, even it started with Kobe Bryant, man. Like, yo, there's a whole different dynamic going on in the NBA now, man. It's no longer the poor kid from the inner city, man. It's about the second generation and kids that come from money now that can afford to travel and play in AAU. It's a complete paradigm shift of where NBA players are coming from.
I don't think that paradigm shift is complete because there's plenty.
I know it's not complete, but it's starting. I'm telling you, it's starting, man.
It's starting. Yeah, it's starting. It's starting. But for every Earl Smith and Kyrie Irving, you can point to a LeBron James who's the biggest star, or you can point to a Dwayne Wade or a Paul Pierce, or some of those guys are on the way out, or Zach, Randolph. So I don't know, but Klay.
Zach looked like he was. I think Zach was homeless.
We on show 625 in a couple of years because we will be on 625. You can be like, yo, it's a whole bunch of
regardless of where he came from, he balls like he played in a positive image league, man. He got a dog.
Positive image, yo. My man played total response. But no, Klay Thompson definitely does ball. As they call them, the Splash Brothers out there, a problem. But it's interesting. I mean, you think about that position, the two guard position. We went from Mike to Kobe, and that's not even a dominant position no more. Most of our lives, that's been like a main position. Now it's like the small forward is the golden position.
So it's maybe if Klay and cats like Bradley Beal can live up to the hype that they're now getting, maybe they can bring it back. People throughout the offseason kept asking who's the best backcourt, and a lot of people, by all accounts, say Golden State. But I think if Klay continues at this pace, like that question, it'll be one of those, is this a real question? Type questions. Like it won't even be close if he's going to play like that, because I really like Bradley Beal, but I still don't see Bradley Beal in the light of somebody who can create for himself, who could just take over a game. Like, he's had spurts, but, the greatest thing about his game right now is his jump shot. You're not seeing him just take the ball and do what he has to do sometimes. I mean, and that may be a good thing. The team might not need hero ball, but no, he definitely plays defense. That's why his name has come up, because he's in that all around young crop. But honestly, I need to see him go off for a 40 on somebody.
He's too little.
Huh?
He's too little. He's too little. He's 6'3". He has no post up game. His handle. I mean, to be honest, and I'm not saying this to make a joke about the brother, because I like his game. I really like the Washington backcourt, but I look at Bradley Beal as like Juan Dixon with more range and more athleticism. Like, he has no
You think he's 6'3"?
He has no.
You think he's 6'3"?
Couldn't he start in this league though?
Bradley Beal ain't 6'3" though. He's taller than 6'3".
But hold on though. Let me ask you guys a question.
I mean, I know they list him at 6'5". I got to give him at least 6'4", if not 6'5". I don't see him at 6'3".
Maybe 6'4".
Mm.
All right, let me ask you guys a question.
These days, that's pretty much
right now.
The
right
two guards
this
are going
second,
back down to that size.
I tell you right this second, you can have James Harden or Klay Thompson. Who are you taking for this season?
I don't want to get hype over that one game or that 1 week, but I might take Klay because he's doing it more all around. Klay Thompson is going to play defense. He's going to stretch the defense and complement, what's the name? Yeah, James Harden, man, until he shows any kind of effort on defense. And he was back at his tricks the other night because Austin and I went to see the Rockets and the Sixers play live before we left Philly. Shout out to you, Jim, for hooking us up with Corey. Shout out to Kent for getting us up in that piece. But there were some of those.
Right this second, B. Austin.
There were some of those instances, and B. Austin can attest to that, where the dude would go around the screen and dude not even looking, and luckily the Sixers blow layups, so it didn't hurt him as much. But
B. Austin, for this season, right now, who are you taking?
I don't know about that, but word life, I'm taking myself. If you give me 6 months and 40 pounds, I'll bust James Harden that. Yo, real talk. His
ain't hard to be in here, but still.
His defense is atrocious. There was some dudes in there on the Sixers roster that Dev plays with at the Y that just got signed, and he was giving James Harden the work. I'm all that bad mouthing. I'm probably going to change by the end of the season, but I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna ride with James, man. One more year, because I need
you said it ain't enough yet for Klay, right?
Yeah, it ain't enough, but it's coming. It's coming.
I heard that. I heard pause. I heard that. I was about to say to you, B. Austin, you one of them.
Y'all know me anyway. I was never all in on James Harden anyway, so I'm sure y'all can understand why I'm going another way. But.
No doubt. B. Austin, he's up in beer games. You gonna hold on for one more season?
Hold on one more season.
Well, look, before we let's talk about the biggest thing that's happened real quick before we talk about the Cavs, because we can end the show on the Cavs. Do you guys have? I'm gonna give y'all a mulligan on this. Do y'all have revised expectations for the OKC Thunder? Where do y'all want to put them in your playoff picture with Durant and Westbrook being out, or do you have them in the playoff picture anymore altogether? Real quick.
Yeah, they're in there. They're in there because both of those dudes are coming back, and I think they won't be far enough gone that they can't get in 6th, 7th, or 8th seed. I got them somewhere between 6 and 8. Getting in.
You have to keep in mind, B. Austin, and I'm not trying to change your answer. You have to keep in mind it's the Western Conference. You might need 50 wins just to get in the damn playoffs in the Western Conference sometimes.
Yeah, it may be too little too late. I don't know if I want to change my pick because I forgot what I picked at this point.
You might need 45, 50 just to get in.
Yo, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true, yo. 8th seed in the West is like a first seed in the East. I forgot what I picked for OKC, so I'm just gonna say, they don't. It's not looking too good for them right now. Let's put it that way.
I know. I picked them third. I had them as my third seed. Yeah.
Yeah, you were better.
I had them in the top 3 seed, but remember, I have them winning the NBA title this year over the Chicago Bulls.
Now, you want to change yours.
If they can see, that's the thing. No, I mean, because I definitely would change the positioning of them getting in the playoffs, but I still think if, like B. Austin said, if they can grab an 8 seed, 7 seed, they're going to be the 7th and 8th seed that nobody wants to play. You might have the Spurs sitting their veterans late in the season tanking to get away from the 1st seed if Oklahoma's in the 1st seed. In the 8th seed. So, I see it's a big if they can withstand the storm, and so far the team hasn't been playing that great without them. If they could somehow stay hovering around 500, waiting for those dudes to get back, I think my pick with them winning the championship gets even stronger because now you got Westbrook and Durant playing, on the level that they play at, while everybody else has already played a half a season, damn near, and they come in a little later, a little fresher. But I don't know how much stock you can put in that because they're going to be playing hard as hell because they got to catch up. So they might still
have to win 20 games straight to make the playoffs.
Right. So my thing is I'm definitely going to drop them in the standings to the second half. But if they get in, I think my pick gets even stronger than I thought it was in the beginning.
A couple comments off of Twitter I want to get you guys' reaction to from @KCMax38. He said Chris Bosh should be ashamed of himself for sitting his ass back for those 4 years. And also, Kobe is turning to the uncle that we laugh at. 39 shots, please.
I ain't laughing. Who else gonna take them? They stink. You seen their roster later?
I know we don't have time. We don't have time to shoot at dudes disrespecting basketball because if you've been watching these games.
That's not efficient basketball, but I'm not laughing at him like the uncle that we laugh at because, who else is going to shoot him? That team just absolutely stinks. So I'm not giving him a pass for getting his chuck on, but I ain't laughing at him either. You do what you got to do.
What do you guys think about Chris Bosh? He should be ashamed of himself for the way he took a back seat.
No.
We've been saying that for 4 years.
Because that was the coach.
I think he should.
A part of that was him taking a step back, but a part of that was the coach and Riley telling him, listen, all we want you to do is be a glorified, super talented jump shooter.
But
get out of the way.
He chose to accept that role. He chose to go there. He didn't have to go there.
Hold on. The one thing I think was
even if he wanted to team up, he could have went to Chicago, teamed up with Derrick Rose, and they would have been just as viable. They would have been, if Derrick Rose stays healthy, they would have been battling with Wade and LeBron.
I think the one thing we forget, because I heard a lot of people say that this week. I heard a lot of people say that he shouldn't have took a back seat. I think the one thing we forget is they were successful with him being in that third role. They went to 3 chips, one.
They won chips.
They won 2.
That's what I'm saying.
3 went to 4 finals, something crazy like that. So they had success. Anyway,
and let me let y'all know because the Memphis Grizzlies didn't. Oh, I'm sorry, because this is the standings for the whole season. I'm trying to find the records of the AC last year, but we'll move on while I'm looking for it. I'll just.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Let me just say. I just want to say that I was getting ready to talk about the Cavaliers because I know we definitely want to talk about them before we roll though. Speaking of how the actual Heat plays, but go ahead though, Dad.
Yeah, no, the Cavs are struggling out of the gate. We've all seen that. I think they're 1-2, 1-3 now. They just lost. They got blown out in Portland. They lost a buzzer beater in Utah. They beat Chicago when everybody thought Chicago would beat them. They're struggling, and it's obvious that the team chemistry isn't there yet. What it seems to me, though, it seems like LeBron James, and I guess this happens when you're the best player in the league, he's kind of getting a pass from this team chemistry, and I don't know if the people who are giving him a pass are actually watching these games. Now, Kyrie Irving, like Jimmy said, has gone almost 7 quarters. His last 36 shot attempts without an assist, but he did have 34 points, and he was the reason they were in that game late against Utah because they were down 17 at one point, and he led them back, scoring in all kinds of ways. but he was not sharing the ball. Now, Brian Windhorst wrote a story. I didn't notice that it was Brian Windhorst until somebody reminded me of that. We all know he's LeBron's personal media lackey. He's saying this LeBron sitting back, looking disinterested, letting those dudes do what they're doing is his new form of leadership. Instead of playing hero ball and trying to bail them out of situations, LeBron's just going to sit back, let his younger teammates bomb away indiscriminately and show no interest in fighting. And that's his way to let them bang their head on the wall until they realize that's not the way to win. First of all, do you guys believe that? Do you believe that's what LeBron's doing, or we're just not calling a spade and just saying that the king is struggling right now? Because he's not playing defense either, so I don't see how that helps the situation. Because LeBron's playing.
The Cavs are 1-3, and shout out to Fred Perdue who's still listening in. They're 1-3, and Fred has saw all 6 of their games. So with that being said, me and Dev talked off air. We were talking about this, and in my opinion, LeBron definitely looks disinterested. Even when he's playing well in spurts, not playing well, he looks like he doesn't care. LeBron looks like he's only there because he has to be. He's not even in love with the game of basketball no more. I don't see the excitement and passion for the game of basketball no more. LeBron is looking like he's thinking about how he's gonna make his next $1 million while the game is going on. Basketball is his side hustle, and everything else is his business at this point. He got his chips, and I'm cool now. I came back home, make this bread, but
to give him the benefit of the doubt, he was one of the players that was saying, we don't need to experiment with the times in the game. We need to experiment with the shortening the season. So he might not be in season mode yet. He might be waiting until January. Yeah, because he got to make his fourth quarter numbers as far as his companies and businesses are concerned. So, what do you think their problem is, Austin?
I think it's definitely a chemistry thing. And LeBron, if you noticed in the article and some of the interviews, he has said some pretty insightful things. But if you pay attention to the game and you watch basketball, it's not profound. I mean, they're insightful, but they're not really profound. There's a losing culture in Cleveland, and bringing Kevin Love and Sean Marion and ultimately LeBron in doesn't erase the habits that were formed by some of those other players. Kyrie Irving is who and what we've always thought him to be. He's a tad bit selfish. He's uber talented, tremendous player, and hopefully he will grow into being a top point guard. But he uses what he has to get himself shot versus getting other shots. So I agree with that, but overall, I never saw Michael Jordan sit back. I never saw Larry Bird sit back. I never saw Isaiah Thomas sit back. I never saw Allen Iverson sit back. I've never seen Kobe Bryant sit back. So
yes, you did.
I didn't see
you ain't see that Phoenix Suns game?
Game 7.
No, I've never seen. He proved. I guess he was proving a point. If you want to point to that. See, Jimmy doesn't really like Kobe. He's a closet Kobe.
No, it's not that. I was waiting.
Right, come on, we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that.
We ain't got time.
I got some.
We got to do this another time.
LeBron
doesn't
care enough. LeBron doesn't care enough, and that's part of the problem.
Before we go,
defensively he's lacking.
Before we go, I just want to read some of his quotes, and I want you guys to tell me: is this, leadership, or is he throwing the team, throwing his teammates under the bus? I mean, because it could be a form of not the whole premise of him doing nothing, but I'm talking about specifically the stuff he's saying. Some of his quotes. He said, "Everyone wants to win, I would hope. Would you rather play selfish basketball and lose or play unselfish basketball and sacrifice and win? So you pick it." After they won against Chicago, he said it's going to be a long process. There's been a lot of losing basketball around here for a few years, what Jimmy just said. But there's a lot of bad habits. A lot of bad habits have been built up over the last couple of years. And when you play that style of basketball, it takes a lot to get it up out of you. But I'm here to help, and that's what it's about. See, a lot of this stuff to me, now y'all can tell me if it sounds like he's throwing them under the bus or if this is just leadership, but a lot of this, to me, it does sound like what B. Austin says, like he's a hired mercenary. He's talking about I'm here to help. This is your city. Like, you're supposed to take the reins back. Like, they're offering this city to you. You're the biggest thing happening in this state right now. So it kind of sounds like, I'm here to help and this and that. Like, no.
A couple things. I'll be very fast because we don't have that much time. But the Miami Heat struggled the same way, and we talked about that when they first got together. That's one point. Second point from Casey Mack is like the coach has to take some responsibility as well. Does he know the players? The Cavs coach. I don't even know who the Cavs coach is. I know who he is, but I don't know who he is. Third thing is there's like a rumor going around that Kyrie doesn't want to turn the thing back over to LeBron, and that's why he's playing the way he's playing. It's like, he's still some kind of way about dude coming and taking his shine. Yeah, so, I mean, that's one other thing going on. With that being said, man, we got to get out of here. Thanks for joining us in the War Room, good people. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, those on Facebook, Twitter, all the calls that chimed in. We appreciate it. Those we didn't get to, we apologize. Special thanks to Fred Perdue of collegefootballextra.com. Go check him out over there. He, talk college football with us. Tune in next week, same time, same place, live right here or on demand on the WRS Podcast Network for some great sports talk. We'll recap Week 10 of the NFL and look forward to Week 11, more NBA coverage. So until then, enjoy your week. We'll see you right back here. Catch all of our conversations on Facebook and Twitter at War Room Sports. Our videos, warroomsportstv.com. All of our network shows, WRSPN.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance. We'll see you chumps on top.
Know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop dollars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Got Back, B. Austin. I'm shot. I'll be coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.